Hi everyone, been a while. My apologies for that. Obviously, last time I spoke to you, it was all getting excited for the Golden Reel final. And that's what I'm going to cover in this video. The Golden Reel, the lead up to it. I am going to do a couple of videos straight afterwards, some tips one and a video about the method I think is going to be the one over the next few weeks, micros and expanders. We haven't covered that yet, so why I really like fishing. But onto the Golden Reel. So last time I spoke to you, we qualified on the Wednesday. The final was the following Saturday, so not a lot of time to practice. I had a couple of days coaching that weekend, but I cancelled them. I was working Friday night anyway. So apologies to the couple of guys I cancelled on. They did understand. Obviously it was a big thing, the Golden Reel. Wanted to put all my attention into that. So I got the chance to fish one practice match, which was on the Sunday before the match, which was the following Saturday, which was on Match Lake. Most of the guys fishing the final there, in all honesty. And I've drawn peg. I don't know the place very well, I'll be honest, I've only fished it a couple of times. Drew 26 on Match Lake, which is in the middle of the island on the grass bank. Really hot day, like it was going to be all that week. Obviously, with the island there, the feeder I thought was going to, well, from what everyone said, good feeder peg. So it's going to be the higher, the open end alloy, like the hybrid style method over. Short pellet short. Set up a rig for fishing pellets long. It's really shallow along that bank. You've got like 2.5 foot at 6 sections. So I've set up a rig for fishing hard pellets there and a rig for fishing meat. You'll have 4 tins of meat, so I took 4 tins of 8 mils because there's lots of little fish in there. A bit of hemp. Just 6 mil fishery pellets. And then some micros for across on the feeder, and then the edge. I was going to fish the edge with ground bait and corn. Just wanted to try a few things out, and started short with pellets. It was really good. I've had 3 big carp first quarter of an hour, and then the sun come out and it was clear it was going to be a dobbing day, in all honesty. There were quite a few fish caught dobbing early and I just didn't want to do it. I wasn't going to learn anything dobbing. I wanted to learn about feeding and how to feed there. So I started pinging a few pellets long, gone shallow, not caught anything. Caught 2 on the deck, I think there. Gone on the feeder. I've had one on it, one bite out of the blue. The feeder was a waste of time. There were no signs. And to be honest, this was like an hour and a half in. I've caught one. I've won the rest of the match. Nothing was caught really the second half of the match. Just an odd dobbing fish, and I was determined I wasn't going to do it. Did learn quite a bit from it though. Feeding, like my rigs, was definitely right. I fished quite heavy, like the 18 to 20 slick for sure. That was definitely right. The carp really fight in there. You'll find because it's so shallow close in there, you literally sit in the water. They tear off when they get to you, but there's still plenty stretch enough. I could land them nice and quick, so I was happy with that. My setup's like 018 bottoms, 020 mainline. The edges, I sat in the edges for a long time. There were fish coming in, and they are notorious there for being hard to catch, and they were absolute disaster. They come in and swarm, there's fish everywhere, but you don't catch any. There was hardly a fish caught in the edge, in all honesty. The other side, the Burbank was much better. So the end pegs dominated, but there were going to be blockers in the final, so I wasn't bothered about that either. The Burbank definitely seemed the place to be. Sort of 48 was second in the match, the only end peg, not an end peg, that did well. And looking at the results the week before, like you've been wanting 170 to like 230 pounds. Most people were catching that sort of weight. So it was looking like it was going to be a really good match. The heat did spoil our day, boiling hot, flat calm, but it gave me an idea what I wanted to do. The Burbank was much better. They did catch some edge fish, got some deeper water close in, they're just more comfortable there. If there was a wind on it, we might have caught a few, but with it being flat calm, didn't want to know there. Something else interesting I learned from it, Fran next door to me, he's caught a low dobbin and like everyone else around us, not caught anything. He has chucked the feeder later on, like a few big chucks with a good sized feeder, get a bit of bait in there, and he's had 2 or 3 on it. So that was worth bearing in mind if I drew on the island. Yes, I took quite a bit away from it. Monday night I was working nights, and then that was the last of the nights. I was on to days after that. We got Tuesday off, so I got home, had a couple of hours sleep, and then had the 2-hour drive up to Worcester. Wanted to sit on just pleasure fishing. Like there were a lot of people pleasure fishing. There were club matches on there every day though, so you were limited to where you could sit. So I sat on permanent peg 57 on the Burbank. Not a good area in all honesty. Again, started short of pellets. I wanted to try and get my plan together. Feeding 6 mils, 8 mil on the hook, and again caught 3 really quickly, all big fish. So I was definitely going to start my match like that. It was perfect. And then after that, it was quite hard to chuck the bomb out because you're in open water there. Just feeding lightly with 8 mils. 20 gram inline, like I like to use, inline lead. Caught a couple really quickly, and then you don't get many signs. I wanted to do it quite short for accuracy, but what I've actually found during the day was if I fed it further, I could fish the waggler there. Like 20 metres was a bit too short to fish the waggler properly. So if I did it at like probably 28 metres, quite a way, easily done with 8 mils. So I fished a waggler over it. I caught a couple on the waggler. You could really attack it and get lots of bait in there for the last hour, and then put the bomb over it and it goes round. There were definitely fish there, lots of fizz in there. I felt that was going to be a really good way to go, really attack the bomb line. I'd sort of written meat off because I never had a bite on meat the time before, but I wanted to try it with 6 mils this time. I felt with only 4 tins of 8 mils, it's not actually that many cubes, and where you were throwing it, you couldn't really attack it, so you just put a little bit in. You weren't really feeling enough to attract the carp in, but the other fish, like the little skimmers and that, weren't eating it. So you were just getting a pile of bait there without much coming in on it. So I tried it with like halfway, I did it like a match, and halfway through, so with 2.5 hours to go, I started throwing 6 mil meat. You could really attack it with that. There's a lot more pieces of meat at 4 tins if you had 6 mils. And it was much better. Caught some decent skimmers, a couple of F1s, 2 or 3 carp on it. That was really good. So that and the short, started short, going along. What also, because I wasn't feeding, because I was feeding quite far on the bomb, it left quite a bit of open water for dobbing. There were some fish to dob because it was hot, and I caught 3 or 4 big ones like that. And then I wanted to work on the edge. Now, I remember watching a video with Jamie Hughes from last year when he won it. He thought he got the edge sussed. It was quite interesting, and I've tried it. I've big potted at like 6, 7 sections. I've tried fishing over it, even though it's in the deeper water, that it wasn't right. You were getting liners and fish coming in. So I've set up another rig for fishing, like 414. It's exactly the rig used to qualify, in all honesty. A 414 Rube Carbon in like 2 foot of water, just over 2 foot of water. Got a section past it and just tapping in pellets, 6 mils and 8 mil on the hook again. And you were just getting them as they were coming in, because there wasn't lots of bait there. You weren't foul hooking them, and I caught a lot of fish down the edge. I had a really productive day. I've come away really happy. I sort of got my plan. A few little things I wanted to change. It's very silty. The 20 gram inline bomb wasn't right, so I've changed to fishing like a 12 gram, a normal bomb, just like a teardrop bomb or a square bomb, on a lead clip. So it just caused a lighter ripping and less resistance, so it didn't sink in the silt, and that felt much better. And I thought, speaking to like my two good mates, Dave Taylor and Russ Grimes, who I mentioned a lot. Spoke to Russ, who's done a lot of that sort of fishing, and he used to fish Larford a bit. And he said about fishing punch meat as a standout bait on it, which I thought would be great. Bit light, so it doesn't sink in. The silt's much stand out, like 10 or 12 mil punch piece of meat. So I was going to do that. On the day, I've actually the night before punched a load of bits out and soaked them in the red, like the Smoky Jack, the really strong smelling pellet one, Spotted Findu. Done a load of that, so it's really potent. I thought that would be the one. I went up again on the Thursday, pleasure fish. The last day we were allowed to pleasure fish. Again, most of it's took up. I could only sit really where I'd sat on the Tuesday, which I didn't feel I was going to learn so much from. So I've sat on peg 8 on the grass bank, which was going to be peg 2 in the match. Not a good area at all, in all honesty. But I had a few bites early. They were from F1s. It's really, really shallow there. At 14 metres, you only got 2.5 foot. So I've gone out long tapping pellets and caught a couple of F1s. There just weren't any carp there. Nothing on the bomb. And then they come in late on. I've caught down the edge. There were always going to be some coming in the edge. So it was going to be the same sort of match. If I drew there, you weren't going to win from there, I didn't think. You wanted to be sort of 48, 50, 52 on the Burbank ideally, or the ends. I didn't think they'd be as good with the blockers, but on the day it's turned out they've had blockers next to them, but 66 and 28, which are the two good end pegs, they've had room opposite them because the blockers have only been stopping them here, so they have actually been good draws in the end. They came in the edge, caught on the hard pellets a bit further, even in that shallower side, so that worked, so I was happy with that. The only thing I thought I would do if I drew around there was fish expanders and micros, catch a bit of everything, because there wasn't a lot of fish till they come short or on the bomb. I caught on the bomb again late with the meat, so that I was happy with that. Just catch some F1s and stuff like that. My micros and expanders are like 13 metres. So yeah, I went into it with my game plan. Had the Friday off, got my kit just finished off, and then drove up there. Dave Taylor's bank running, so I drove up, left here about 5:45 Saturday morning. I actually had a really good night's sleep the night before. I was really happy with my plan. Wasn't nervous about it. I knew what I was going to go and do. I didn't think it was going to be as big a weight as it had been, like 120 to 150 pounds, we all thought. Picked Dave up in Lutterworth on the way through, and we went to the venue. Now, they called out the names to draw in the order that, or they drew your pegs out for you in the order you'd qualified, so I was one of the last to come out. And I drew on the day peg 17, which was permanent peg 50, so exactly where I wanted to be, in all honesty. Matt Wiles next to me on permanent peg 48. Really, really good angler. You've heard me mention him a few times, fishes down our way. He'd been second in the match off that 48 on the Sunday when I went, so he knew exactly what he was doing there. And then to my right, on 52, I had Andy Powers. Don't need to say any more about him. He actually won it off that peg a couple of years ago. Hot favourite to win it again. Next to him was Craig Edmonds, who'd been doing so well in the Opens. He'd got it really sorted. He was second favourite. So it was going to be really interesting, really tough battle. A lot of people said to me, if I can beat Powers, I would probably win it. Because they all thought we were in the right area. So on the day, I'll go proper into rigs and everything now. So I've set up a meat rig and a hard pellet rig for short. Exactly the same rigs, just the hooks are different. One I've got a band, one obviously Adam for me. It tows quite a bit there, and there was a bit more wind on the day, which sort of ruled out the dobbing, but just about to get away with everything else on there. So because it's deeper short, I've fished on a top 5 there, top 6 still, sorry, with hard pellets then meat. Set up 2, they were both 418 Rube Titans. Positive, you've got lots of stones on the bottom and rocks where they've built the burr, so you have to keep it in one spot because it changes depth all over the place where you're on top of bricks and stuff. So nice and positive, set them up. I've set another one up for fishing pellets long, just get it on a top kit, same rig again. 2 shallow rigs for there, one at 2.5 foot deep, the Olivet one, and one on a long line for flicking around the feed and dobbing if the wind died. Just slapping, I felt like I found where you're not feeding that area, there were a big cut come through there. Just going and slapping a pellet, not feeding there, was good for an odd fish as well. So that left that sort of water up. And then I've got the bomb line, I'd set up 2 10 foot Horizon Pro bomb rods, identical bomb setups. I just set 2 up, so because you weren't going to be fishing for that many fish and everyone was going to be really important big fish, your bomb let hook lamps do get rub against your landing nets. Set 2 identical ones up, so if when I caught on one, I could put that down, chuck the other one out, change the hook lamp, so it was always a fresh hook lamp, no worry about it getting broke. And a waggler rod for that, the 11 foot Horizon Pro waggler. And then I've set up 2 edge rigs, 2 identical edge rigs for the pellet lump one, and then I did set one up like a normal edge rig for in the shallow water, just in case. And that was it. So the whistle's gone, 12 o'clock we started, 12 till 5 we were fishing. Started short on pellets, and I've not caught any. Got 2 little skimmers, I did foul up 1 carp for all of 5 seconds. Just wasn't good. Powers next to me's not caught, Craig's not caught, Matt Wiles caught 3 carp early on short. And everyone that way, all around the island, that was where they obviously have the microphone sound who's catching, they all caught a few early on. And everyone else didn't. Simple as that. So after half hour I started feeding the bomb line. I'd seen people go out, Powers and that had gone out long with pellets, not caught, so I didn't waste my time with that. I've just started feeding the bomb, chucked out really lightly to start with, chucked out, had a couple of liners, first couple of chucks. I've changed to a big piece of meat, it's gone straight round, got it back to net, a big fish, 12-15 pound, and the hook's pulled. So I've kept chucking the bomb, never had another bite. Started to really attack it ready for the last hour. Never went. Started feeding meat after like 2 hours. I started feeding a little bit earlier just to hopefully catch some skimmers and that. Never had a bite on it. Gone slapping, never had a bite. It was the longest match of my life, in all honesty. Craig Edmonds still hadn't caught. Powers was now fishing for like real proper skimmer gear, fishing little balls of chopworm and castor and stuff like that, catching loads of roach and perch and stuff. I wasn't going to do that, I hadn't gone there to do that. I've just not had a bite, in all honesty. And then I've gone back on the meat line with 40 minutes to go. Tried my edges, I've missed 1 bite down the in the deep water down the edge. I've seen 1 come in, that was it. Gone on the meat line. It's finally gone under, foul hooked. Finally gone under again, foul hooked. And then it's gone under and I've caught one about 8 pound. And then that was it. I missed 1 bite late on it. And that was my day. I've weighed 8 pound 4 ounce, I think. An 8 pound carp, 2 tiny skimmers. Andy Powers hasn't caught a carp all day. He's caught 18 pound of bits in the end. He's fished for carp the first hour and the last 2 hours not caught one. He's lost 3 or 4 foul hook like I did, but there just weren't any feeding carp. Craig Edmonds has caught 3 on the bomb the last half hour. That end of the lake, where no one wanted to be, have all caught late on. The wind was going up there, the feeding fish. No one, the other end, has caught the second half of the match. They've all caught there. They've just never settled in the middle. They've been one end or the other. So, in all honesty, it was like my family had all drove up to spectate. My mum and my dad. My dad brought his wife. And obviously my wife Liz. My dad's wife had never seen a fishing match, so I just felt a bit embarrassed by it all, in all honesty. I just sat there like a donut. My £8 wasn't last either. I think £20 was halfway in the match, like 3 fish. It was awful. The venue just completely switched off. Massive well done to Tony Coates winning with £68, which is just unheard of, tiny weight in all honesty. From MPEG 28, he won the semi-final there on the Wednesday, qualified for the final, drew the same peg again, last peg to be drawn, drew that, did the business, so massive well done to him. The other MPEG 66 was second with 50 something pound, then £45 was third on the island. So yeah, it was a terrible fishing match in all honesty. It is just unfortunate because it had been fishing so well, but really, really disappointing. But we get up and try again, so really enjoyed the final aspect of it. I've spoke to people like, would I do anything different? No, because I know if it had fished, I'd have gave myself a massive chance of winning on the bomb and short on the edge. There were an odd fish, very odd fish. They were quite small carp caught on the method. If I could go back and I knew it was going to fish how it did, I would have done things slightly different. No one could have predicted it was going to be so bad. There was an open on there the next day, and there were loads of £100 weights. It was just it switched off that day, really high pressure. But if I knew it was going to fish like that, I wouldn't have gone down the skimmer route. In all fairness, I can see why Andy Powers did it. If he'd have caught a few carp late on to top up with his 18 or 19 pounders bits and bobs, he'd have been in the running for a frame, but you were never going to win like it. I would have fished a bomb shorter and fed 6 mils just so I could attack it and the bait was still getting eaten by like skimmers and stuff at like 20 metres and fished a method down the middle of the lake. And I might have caught 3 or 4 carp, but I wouldn't have won anything, so I gave myself the best chance. It was a bit demoralising, but it is what it is. I spoke to Andy Powers, had Neil McKinnon bankman, and was speaking to him for a long time afterwards, and he said it was clear we were just in the worst bit of the lake. There was just no carp feed in there, and he said he would have fished it how I'd done it, just attacked it. 9 times out of 10 it would have been the way. So yeah, we live and learn. So I wouldn't do anything different. It just wasn't where it needed to be on the day. You needed them ends. That bit of room made all the difference on such a hard day. So, but well done to everyone that thrown and won the sections. Definitely want to try and get back in some more big finals next year. It did make me look at things. I've never looked at my approach so much, and I think you'll find from my videos that I do pay a hell of a lot of attention to everything. I just fine tune things all that even a little bit more with this. So that's the good I can take out of it. I know I can take things to another, just a tiny little attention to detail that does make a difference, like the leads and the way I attached them, things like that. So yeah, we will try again next year. Now, moving on from that, that was 2 weeks ago nearly. I've not actually fished a match since. I've just been, like I say, I've been working days, nights, all over the place, going fishing after night shifts. And the Sunday after the Golden Wheel, I had coaching and the bloke cancelled on me, let me down. I'm not going to go into that. I've seen a lot of people talking about this same bloke on Facebook. He's a bit of a con man, so we won't go into that. But I was quite glad he did, in all honesty, because all I did all day was sleep, and I've been so tired for the last 2 weeks. That's why I haven't got any videos done. I've been coming home from work, falling asleep. When I've been on day shifts, night shifts, I've been in bed all day. Hopefully I'm going to be on a run of days now, get back to a bit of normality, because I don't normally work that many nights. So I've done a couple of days coaching. My coaching I have caught up now. I had one booking next week, but he's broke his arm, so I can't do that with him. I've got one I've got to do, I've auction one off for charity, so I've got to take him out. There are still days available if anyone wants to contact me with coaching. And then we're going into winter territory. I'm going to start going, let's say I've got some sport for choice around here. I've got rookery, and which is got you're getting 50 people every week. They've got a winter league and a teams of 3. I normally go Tunnel Barn, but I didn't enjoy it last year, so I'm not doing the teams of 4 there. We're doing the teams of 3 at Rookery. It's only one every month over the winter, so it gives me loads of time to go off and do what I want, because it's normally the busiest time of year for me fishing wise, winter, because I normally have 4 or 5 winter leagues. Normally, I don't want to curse things, but in touch wood, I won the 2 local ones this year, won them like the year before. So hopefully we'll have another good winter, lots to report on. Yeah, I'm not fishing this weekend again. It was my wife's birthday yesterday. It's mine on Saturday. Not actually got a lot planned with with COVID and everything. There's not really too much we could go off and do. I'm just going to relax this weekend. Dream about big fish tanks. For anyone that looks at this tank here, I'll get comments on it when I'm doing my videos. There's also a massive one comes out to here, the other side. We're getting rid of both, so if anyone wants any fish, please let me know, or tanks. We went up to a place, the aquarium specialist in the country on Saturday, and we're actually going to build our dream tank that will be from here all the way through the wall into the living room, 8 foot long, with some stingrays and all some monster fish. So there'll be, when I do my videos in a few months, there will be fish. Your eyes will be watching the fish, not me, I'm sure. So it's not fishing related, but something I'm really excited about. So I should spend lots of time thinking about that this weekend. I should think, catching up on sleep again, and then we'll get on to the matches next week. Now I'm going to do a couple of tips videos straight away while the camera's set up. Let me know if there's anything you want to do. I know I was going to do bomb and waggler and stuff like that. We are getting it out a bit now. Now I'm going to do like what I think is the fish is going to be like each month. I'm going to do a tips video now, ready for October, which I think will be the method. And I'll get sent done about plumbing up, because I get asked a lot on coaching, and I've had a message on it, so I'm going to get them done now. Thanks for watching. We will get back to a bit of regularity and loads of videos, so thank you very much. See you soon.